The Vanford is easily one of Shimano's most popular reels in today's lineup. It's replaced the Shimano Stradic a while back. A lot of people weren't very happy with that, but I think once people got to see this reel and what it could do, I think their opinions changed. So we're going to talk about that in today's video. All right, so to give you guys some history on this reel right here, like I said, this is the Shimano Vanford, and it actually replaced the Shimano Stradic CI4 several years back. I actually remember when the Shimano Stradic CI4s went on sale at Bass Pro. We had a line of like 40 people before the store opened that day. It was absolutely wild because the Stradics went down to like 150, which is a great deal for them. A lot of people, including myself, weren't very happy with this announcement because we loved the Stradics. The Stradic CI4s are incredible. The Stradic FKs are a completely different line of reels and they're not going anywhere, I don't think. But to hear the Stradic was being replaced with the Vanford was very odd considering how popular of a line these reels were. So I was kind of not sure about it at first, but we got a couple of these reels in store pretty quick and I got to feel them and realized that they are just as good as the Stradic, if not better. What I really like about this reel is that they really didn't change anything on the Stradic that needed to be changed. Like the Stradic is pretty much a perfect reel. It's probably the best product I've ever reviewed on my channel. And they know that, right? They knew that that reel was pretty much perfect and they didn't need to replace anything. So actually all they did is they went in and just upgraded a few things. So they actually upgraded the rotor on this reel, so it has a better rotor than the one on the Stradic CI4s. Shimano's also starting to take a lot of the technology from the Stella and the Twin Powers, which for those of you that don't know are like Shimano's two like best reels of all time that they've ever made. They're starting to take a lot of those big technology pieces in those reels and sending them down to some of the models below them. And this is one of those reels that is kind of right below some of those other models. So it's really cool. We're starting to see some even higher quality features in some of these reels that are a little more accessible for your average fisherman. A lot of things are still the same though. It's still made with the CI4 body material, which is why it is just so light in your hand. It almost feels like you don't even have a fishing reel in your hand when you're using it, which is absolutely incredible. A lot of the other things like the handle and the spool are also very, very similar to the Stradic, which frankly the Stradic's was pretty perfect anyway, so there's no point to upgrade it. All right, so let's go over the specs on this reel now. All right, so the one I have in my hand here is the VF 2000 HGF. So this is the 2000 sized reel. The gear ratio is coming in at 6.1 to 1. Weight is coming in at 5.3 ounces. Drag is 7 pounds. Bearings is 7 + 1. Line capacity is 165 yards of 6-pound test, 105 yards of 8-pound test, and 95 yards of 10-pound test. And the MSRP is coming in a lot of different prices, but around $230 to $250. All right, so let's talk versatility here. They come in any size from 500 to 5,000, which is Shimano's typical reel, usually comes in those sizes. It covers a huge range of different species. These are also sealed as well, and they're pretty much, I mean, they're kind of meant for saltwater just as much as they are freshwater. So for you inshore guys, the 4,000s and 5,000s are awesome. Even off the surf, like on the beach and stuff, that reel would be awesome. And then of course, the reason why I love these reels so much, the 1,000 to 2,000 size are just perfect for trout, bluegill, bass, just crappie, any of those fish that you need a light, sensitive setup to feel bites. These reels are incredible with that. So they cover a lot of those too. I would use the 500 for my smaller ice fishing applications. However, upon looking it up on the website here, it says that the 500 doesn't include the following features: MGL rotor, micro module gear 2, X-Protect body, and long stroke spool. So the 500 seems to be missing a lot of the other features that these ones have, which I think are huge selling points on the reel. So I don't know, I think if you were looking for the 500 reel, it may just be better to buy the Nasky 500 or the Sedona 500 because you may be getting closer to the same amount of features for way less money. So going into durability here, obviously these reels are extremely durable. That CI4 material is extremely strong. One thing is it doesn't feel durable, right? Because it's such a light reel, you just feel like you're gonna break it really quick. But man, I mean, if you just, there's nothing on this reel that gives. Yeah, durability is a huge, huge aspect on this reel. One thing that you don't get with cheaper reels is both the sensitivity and durability. Usually you only get one or the other. For example, an ugly stick, right? You're gonna get tons of durability, but you're not gonna get any type of, sensitivity or feel. It's something, those lower end products, you don't get that. But if you upgrade a little bit, you get the best of both worlds. And in this case, this is a perfect example of that. Not only do you get the durability, like I said, but you get a super sensitive, lightweight, easy to hold all day reel that is going to perform. So that is a huge, huge thing about these reels. It's a big reason why I am still in love with the Shimano Stradics. They're just, they do both so well. Another huge reason why I love the Vanford and Stradics is the looks portion of it, right? This is one of the sexiest reels that I have ever seen in my life. The Shimano Stradic CI4s are the same way. It's the all black, and then you have kind of the red and silver accents in the reel. Oh my gosh, that is just... Shimano knows how to make one good looking reel. These reels just look absolutely incredible. All of the metal parts on it, the shine, they use like a matte black for it kind of in like nearby the spool, but then the red is shiny so it sticks out. It is just such a beautiful, beautiful looking reel. You can just tell right away, it just looks expensive. It looks quality just by a quick glance. So yeah, looks portion, this is hands down the best looking reel that I have ever seen. This reel may even look better than the Shimano Stradic CI4. I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments if you guys think this reel looks better than the CI4 or vice versa. I'm curious. Now for a portion that is going to turn a lot of people off, and that is the price. So this reel is coming in at basically $250, pretty much anywhere you want to get it in store at the time of filming this. $250 is a lot. $250 is a lot for a spinning reel, especially if you're going to be using it for trout or crappie or something, that it's just, there's a lot of features in this that you may not need for some of those fish species. However, if there are certain situations where you need a reel that is going to be super light, or you need a reel that has a really good, strong, smooth drag. So if you're targeting bigger trout, or you're targeting something like for even like some of those stalker ponds, I know where like guys are fishing super small, like 1/60th ounce jigs. They're using those super light rods, right? Some of that stuff, actually, this really comes in handy. I use my Shimano Stradic CI4, which is very similar. I use that whenever I go to like local ponds to just go catch some trout, or if I'm fishing in lakes or rivers and I'm like vertical jigging for fish, or I'm doing situations where, I need that feel, and I've also got a chance at hooking up with a big fish that could run. So yeah, $250 is a little steep for sure, but for some people, it's worth it to them. And in my opinion, this is 100% worth it. For me, that price is extremely justified, especially if you have a setup that you're using all the time. So for instance, for me, I have a 7.5 foot ultralight setup that I use on average once a week, some weeks more, maybe 2 or 3 times a week, depending on the season. I use it a lot. I use it for tons of different fish. And I have a Shimano Stradic CI4 on that one right now. And I absolutely love it. I use it all the time. So why not buy a really nice setup, right? If it's something you're going to use all the time and have for 10 years, you might as well just buy the nice of the nicest, right? And enjoy all the time while you have with it. So that's a situation where I think this reel is definitely worth it. So let's go over some pros and cons of this reel here. So as for pros, right, extremely light, but you also get tons of durability. So that's 2 right there. It looks just absolutely incredible. It's such a sleek looking reel. It also has a lot of features that some of the reels may not have specifically the features that got passed down from the Stella and some of those really nice, you know, high-end Shimano products. As for cons, I would say most people would think this is a little pricey. I do agree with that. I do think $250 is a lot for a spinning reel, but some people it is worth it, me included. And then the lower models, all right. And then the lower models still have felt drag washers. The 4,000 and 5,000 size got upgraded to the carbon washers, which are what the Stella and some of the other high-end Shimano products have. I think they could have probably just put it in all of them. I don't know if, I think for $250, I think you should be getting that feature in there, but whatever, it's not too big of a deal. Overall, my Humbug rating on this reel is a solid 9 out of 10. I really just think price is the one thing on this that really knocks it. I think that's a thing that knocks a lot of my reel ratings. I think there'd be a lot more 9 or 10 out of 10s if some reels were a little less expensive. I think this reel is an incredible addition to the Shimano CI4 line of reels. I'm still bummed not to see Stradic on the side of the spool. However, the Vanford, they're creating a legendary line of reels with this. I'm really curious to see what they do after. It seems like every 4 or 5, maybe 6 years, they do a different, you know, a new CI4 reel. So I'm very curious to see what they do after this, to see if they keep the Vanford name after the popularity it's gained, or they go back to the Stradic name. Either way, they keep making reels like this, they've got a diehard customer. If you guys want to see another awesome reel like this one, I will put that review right here. If you guys want to see a killer rod that would go with this reel, I will put it right here for you guys. Hopefully you guys got something out of today's episode. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you got entertained. We'll see you guys next time on Humbug Videos.